We are coming to you from the city of Richmond, Virginia tonight for college basketball as the St. Louis Billikens take on the VCU Rams in the Atlantic 10 Friday night showcase. Welcome everyone inside the Siegel Center. Great to be with you here tonight. Mike Corey alongside Dallin Cuff here on this Friday night. Here we go, Dallin. St. Louis and VCU. Two teams here at the midway point of this season that are in situations that they're not really used to.
Yeah, hang out in the middle of the table of the standings, if you will. The A10 is not common for these teams, but injuries have been a factor for both squads. Rhino in his first year at VCU gets those guys back fully healthy. St. Louis is now fully healthy. So both these teams hoping to make a charge up these standings, if all being positive, getting themselves to the NCAA tournament. Gibson Jimerson is huge for the Billikens. He's one of the best guards in the country. He's 7th in the A10 in scoring. Dynamic shooter, 39% from the three-point line. Has made over 250 threes in his career, but he's developed into a more complete offensive player. Getting to that right hand, he is dangerous. You have to close out on the shots, so he's learned how to use that effectively as a weapon to shot fake, get downhill, shot fake, create, or at times side dribble and bury triples. He is a key for the Rams to slow down. On the other side for the Rams, Sean Bairstow, he is one of those guys who was injured. October, broke his foot. He's back to full health now, had surgery, coming off a 14-point, 12-assist game. Was absolutely huge in their win against LaSalle. Big guard, 6'7", they'll post him up at times. He'll walk guys down, back guys down. They'll play out of the post, facilitate from there. Good interior passer, and can step out and knock down a shot if need be.
All right, so here we go. What about your keys to the game here tonight before we tip this thing off?
Well, let's start with the VCU. This is a team that's got to defend at an elite level. I mean, we talk about this. We'll get into how they used to play for years. Actually, we'll start with VCU, yes. How they played for years is havoc and turning teams over. This is not this team right now. Right. They need to sit down in a stance, contest shots, guard the ball, and then get going the other way. Ryan Odom said transition offense is huge for us. In St. Louis, you got to limit turnovers. They've had some real problems. Done better in the last two games. They battled at Dayton and lost, but they've got to handle the ball better, and they've got to limit VCU's threes. And to do that, they have to one-on-one defend better. They've got to contain the ball, not overhelp, and be there on shooters.
And if you're St. Louis, you're going to try to get off the hump here. They are 0 for their last 9 on the road. And also here at VCU in the Siegel Center, they have never won. They're 0 for 8 here in Richmond.
Mike Corey, Debbie Downer, welcome to the game.
No, I mean, can they get over the hump here tonight? And what about VCU, right? They've won their 2 Atlantic 10 games on the road, and they've lost the other 2 here at home. So a lot at stake for both teams tonight.
And the Siegel Center, usually a fortress, so the crowd has shown up here on a Friday night, and they need to perform for them. The first pass, tough for Jimerson to handle. It's good to keep it in play.
Got an all-star A-plus officiating crew here tonight. Roger Ayers, Ron Groover, and Clarence Armstrong on the call for this one. Here's a 3 on the way from Hargrove. It's no good. And VCU quickly running into the front court. Let's get to their starting 5 here tonight for the Rams.
Starting tonight for the VCU Rams, small forward, me, Sean Bairstow. We got point guard from the city of Richmond, Jason Nelson. Shooting guard from Ukraine, Max Shulga. Power forward, we got Kwani from Melbourne, Australia. And at center, we got Firm the Big Worm, starting at the 5. Go Rams.
Sean, part of a basketball family. His brother Cameron, many people may remember, played at New Mexico in a team that was really good about 10 years ago. Mexico did fall to Harvard in the NCAA tournament in that year, but still, very great player that just finished his professional career.
Jimerson trying to bounce it inside. Turnaround hook from Azaroro is no good. Here come the Rams once again. Bairstow controls it.
Got to close out. It's a rare miss. He's made 14 in his last 19, 74% from the three-point line after missing his first 17. Unheard of. But that's not what you want to see if you're Travis Ford. You've got to be there on the catch for Kwani. He bailed him out there, just kind of short of the shot.
St. Louis starting 5 here tonight.
What's up, everybody? It's Terrence Hargrove. At PG, we got Sion Melly, C1. At the 2, we got Gibson Jimerson. At the 3, we got my boy Larry Hughes Jr., Smooth. At the 4, we got Rockstar me, of course. And at the 5, we got Big Baby Brad. Let's go, y'all. Roll Bills, baby.
Foul's going to be called on Medley for St. Louis. Yeah, both teams have been dealing with injuries, and it's a tale of a couple different seasons for both of these squads this year.
For sure. I mean, Azaroro is not part of the injuries. Number 3 in blue, you'll see that big body, but he is one of the double transfers that now was allowed to play as it become a lawsuit situation that the NCAA has kind of backed down in. So you see him in this game has been big, but you've had other guys. Larry Hughes has missed time, and Sincere Parker off the bench was critical for St. Louis. We'll see him come in. He's a starter, playing starter minutes, but still trying to get back to full health. And for Bairstow, we mentioned him already. Joe Bamisile was out, so that those guys getting back and being part of both these respective teams helps change them for sure.
Jason Nelson is at the free throw line, and he's in the starting lineup tonight down for the injured Zeb Jackson, who's unavailable for the Rams here tonight.
Which is the one guy that you don't want to, they're missing, I should say, but he's got back spasm issues, came out of the game in their win at LaSalle, and he's just not quite ready to go here. But he's transferred from Michigan, dynamic guard in the wing, but this team is still coming into their own, and getting Zeb back and getting everybody on the same page as we get into February will be huge for this Rams team.
Shot clock again. It's down to 4 here for the Billikens to shoot. Medley pulls up. And it's tapped out, and it's picked up by Hargrove. And count it, and the Billikens are on the board.
Good body control, going right over Furman. A little shot fake and getting that up and over. Shoga, leading scorer for this team. Just under 4 assists, can create off the bounce. The Ukrainian, but a very good shooter that they're going to try to be physical with. You see Hughes really riding him off that high ball screen.
Bairstow gets hit from behind. They'll call the foul. It's Zeb Jackson, transfer out of Michigan, as you said, the senior, who is unavailable tonight. But hoping for next week to get him back into play for the VCU Rams.
And this is a guy that really, his role has stepped up. The top 7 scorers for VCU all left with Coach Rhodes. He went to Penn State. A number of them went to Penn State and moved on to different programs. But to have Zeb back and changing his role, good run by Hargrave, good drop off for the and one.
His pass from Hughes, who gets the assist, and Hargrove has a chance for the 3-point play.
But just to finish, this team is a team in flux for sure. But Jackson getting back will be big. Nice job out of transition. Hughes with a drop-off pass, finished by Hargrove off the window. I love Hargrove's attitude, too. You heard him shoot around the whole time.
Right.
Game day, we smiling,
That's
game
right.
day. Like
Right.
he brings a great just effervescence to the court. He gives energy. It's infectious.
He's a St. Louis guy through and through. Went to East St. Louis High School. It's his 5th year now here for the Billikens, and he has really done a nice job on and off the court as they have a 5-1 lead here early. As with just over 3 minutes gone by in the first half on this Friday night from Richmond. Off the screen, Nelson. Through a ton of traffic, it's going to draw another foul here on St. Louis. It's on Ezaworo.
Nice job by Nelson, who's a guy that he's transferred from Richmond, just down the street. Local product, that's it, crossing enemy lines, but most of his shots are from 3. 51 of his 82 coming into the game. So they closed out hard on him, and he drove hard down the lane, gets himself to the line where he's already been earlier this game. So being aggressive and not settling early on for Nelson.
And he shot pretty well from 3-point range, 41% of the season. Yeah.
Shoot, they've got to close out on him. He takes a lot. That's where most of his offense comes from.
I've been talking with Coach. You see Travis Ford for St. Louis as they lead it now 5-3. On the other side, Ryan Odom for VCU. It's been tough because guys in and out of the lineup. I mean, early on without Bairstow, without Bamisile, and now you're kind of trying to play your way up, right? I mean, you're trying to stack wins together and kind of increase your standing, but it was just a tough way to start without those two in the lineup for most of the first half of the year.
Yeah, they're a totally different team. I mean, Bairstow adds so much to them offensively. Bamisile literally comes in to give them a punch off the bench. And Ryan Odom was trying to find what kind of style they wanted to play, and he'd hoped they were going to be a pressing team, similar to the Hargrave. What a start, by the way. And that you can't lose sight of him on the baseline there. Inbounds pass for Kwani. That's a mistake, and he made it pay.
Hargrove has all of St. Louis's points to start here tonight. He's 3 of 4 from the field and 1 for 1 at the free throw line.
But just to finish that with Ryan Odom, he wanted to play faster. Good kick to Nelson. Good shot. And wants to press and wanted to kind of meld his great offensive reputation, if you will, and efficiency there, which they've shown at times this year, especially when more healthy, with a more pressing style, defensive style, and get up in teams. Once the injuries started to happen, they just didn't have the bodies to do it. They worked out in the summer, they worked out in September, but once these guys started going down, they couldn't do it, and this team had to have played differently.
Yeah, they got no plan B, plan C. He says, I got to have that over there on the sidelines now. Bairstow, a little short on the runner. Rebound by Medley.
Good cut.
It's going the other way when we return. 2-point game here in Richmond to start tonight. They've done such a good job here in Richmond at VCU in terms of the coaches. I mean, look at these 4 on this list, and then where they go after they've been here. And then now, of course, Ryan Onum from Utah State, the current head coach for the Rams.
The key is not just where they went after. Now, Shaka's on his next stop at Marquette, as is Will Wade, but it's the success that VCU maintained throughout these transitions. I mean, there were more NCAA appearances, A-10 championships, and the success they've had. And Ryan Onum expects to do the exact same thing. Now, the through line, as we mentioned earlier, was this 11 of the last 12 years, VCU's been top 10 in the nation and defensive turnover rate. They would get in you, and Shaka was 40 minutes all day, just up in you, 40 feet, I mean, 94 feet, 40 minutes. Will Wade a little bit different. Mike Rhodes a little bit different. But no matter what, it was getting up in you, making you feel you, turn them over. This is different. Now, talking to Ryan was fascinating because, as we said before, that he wants to actually have some havoc on defense and then be as efficient as possible offensively, which is what he's known for. And hopefully they can get there. That's kind of his plan. That's what's interesting in that conversation. His vision is to maintain that type of DNA, but add the offensive component as they go forward. He wanted to do it this year. Injuries, didn't have the guys, can't do it. Let's see what happens in the future as they continue to build this program. But the standard has been set, and I imagine Ryan Odom is going to maintain that standard. Outstanding coach with great culture here.
Shulga misses, rebound Meadows for St. Louis. And if you could extend that graphic to the 2 coaches prior to Shaka Smart, when this really all got going, right? Jeff Capel from 2002 to 2006, and then Anthony Grant from 2006 to 2009. Of course, Capel goes to Oklahoma, a Duke assistant. Now he's at Pittsburgh. And we know Anthony Grant because he's in the league, went to Alabama, then an assistant at Oklahoma City, now the head coach for the Flyers.
Yeah, the success and history at VCU here is at a high level. Obviously, Shaka going to the Final Four in 2011 took it to a different place, but it has been maintained for 2 decades of success.
Nelson, who has all of VCU's points, and Hargrove, who has all of St. Louis's points, and now Shulga gets into the mix, and we're tied at 8.
Great job stopping, keeping that pivot foot down. Dalger went flying by him and then able to slide back and a little fade away.
How about guys like Shulga and Bairstow coming from Utah State, where Ryan Onum was, and the familiarity they have with their coach here?
Which is huge. Nice high-low. Hargrove is good help defense on the weak side. But it's huge because, as Ryan was telling us, and any coach will tell you, especially the transfer portal era, when you can have guys that know what you expect, understand your language, how they want to play, is really big. And that's what Bairstow does, and that's also what Shulga do. Outside of being their 2 best offensive players, they also are translating everything and helping these guys maintain a standard that he expects. Here's Shulga driving hard. Keeps that pivot foot. Dalger goes flying by and able to get the little floater.
Yeah, Dalger was called for the foul for St. Louis. Travis Ford was upset because he thought there was a travel on Kwani on the outside for VCU before the foul. So a double whammy there. Now VCU still has it, and we're tied at 8.
This is not exactly what Toby Lawal is known for, but going right at Jang. How about that? Like, their 5 men really are playing the dunker spot, playing lobs on pick-and-roll situations and offensive rebound, but he went right at the young fella and finished through him.
Toby Lawal, number 10 in white for the Rams, made an incredible jump. At freshman year last year, there's so many other guys he didn't get much time, and now he's really taking over. Look at this. I mean, you see the elevation as there's a foul, but how high can this guy get into the air?
49.5 inches. Now, Travis Ford wants the basket to be good. And Ron Gruber's actually telling Travis Ford to back up and get into the box. But they're saying he wants the basket to be counted, but the foul was, they're saying, in the act of shooting before he released the ball. That doesn't make, we'll get some clarification there.
Yeah.
But again, Lawal can jump 49.5 inches. You saw, he's an elevator. He's an absolute pogo stick. Oh, that's what they're explaining. They're just saying, no, that ball was on the way up. They were confident the ball was on the way up. Yep. That's it.
The foul is on Joe Bamisile, his first for VCU.
And look at this guy. Yeah, that's easy block.
He's got some crazy ups.
Well, 40, now he made a basket. Now 40 of his 59 baskets are all dunks this year.
Right. What did Coach say? We got drop-offs and lobs to the big guys.
Play them out of the dunker spot, play them off lobs and pick and roll.
Shoulder in some heavy traffic. Gets it back out to Nelson. Bamisile, and he is fouled up at the top by Thames. Kellen Thames picks up his first.
Bamisile's had an interesting journey. I mean, a couple years ago, he was an all A-10 player at GW. Started at Virginia Tech, has been to Oklahoma. Multiple transfers. One was because he wanted to come back here. Local kid, Chesterfield, Virginia. His father had open heart surgery, so wanted to get back locally. But he has been all over the map in college basketball. When he's coming in, he is looking to get up shots.
Right on cue, Gallen.
Good job getting his feet set, too. 10-2 run as he turned into that one. And he was a little off platform there, too. That was a heck of a shot. This is where St. Louis's challenge is, especially with this lineup. Who do you go to score? Who are you running something for right now? Sincere Parker's got to be a little more, 21, and Blue's got to be a little bit more demonstrative with this group especially.
Bruce Zhang, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Louis, but 7 to shoot.
Right off the inbounds pass, just not really a clear communication, but it's not the worst defense. There's a back screen the screener. He went underneath it. Bamisile comes right out. Quick release.
Back the other way, Parker misses on the jumper for St. Louis. Bairstow through a double team, lays it in. We talked to Bairstow before this game as he had broken the 5th metatarsal in his foot. And here's another huge block from Toby Lawal. Bairstow, who is yet at 100% for VCU, has been battling through on his way back. Dalger for a 3. That's no good.
The crowd got Dalger there. I don't know if you could hear the countdown from the student section. There were 6 seconds of the shot clock. He took a terrible shot, and Travis Ford's kind of laughing like, you can't fall for that. But he did. VCU fans on their feet, loving it right now, up 5 as their boys are on a run here in Richmond.
Back in Richmond, the Rams lead by 5. St. Louis has dealt with some injuries throughout this season. And you see the amount of games missed by these guys. And we talked to Travis Ford about it. I mean, he said he really hasn't been through this type of season in his career, right? I mean,
28 years coaching. He hasn't had this many injuries to deal with, especially it was already a new team. No more Yuri Collins to run the show, trying to figure out how they want to play. And his thing was, hey, we're going to press. We're going to play up and down. We're going to try to outscore teams. And they did that early on. They started 4-0. And they were great in terms of scoring. They were scoring 90 points a game. But then Sincere Parker gets injured. He's out for almost 6 weeks. Larry Hughes been out of the lineup. Meadows has been out of the lineup. Ezaworo, as we touched on, double transfer, wasn't eligible until December. So you're getting those guys your full complement back, but you had to change the way they played. They aborted the opportunity, the style of trying to press, and now they've moved into kind of a slower game. And when you do that, you got to find the right guy's shots. And really, in this group, this is a better group for them. You got Ezaworo in, Sincere Parker, and Gibson Jimerson, a number of guys that can hurt you. You can play offense through, but you're really grinding into a half-court game. It's a very different change. He's never had to change and have no identity like this in the middle of the season.
Right, in the middle of the year. Now, if you go back a couple years, here is Meadows drives, and he gets the basket, and he's fouled.
Nice take, good body control.
You go back a couple of years, and remember Javante Perkins, like their star player, getting hurt before the year started. Then you really got to scramble, but that was before everything even got going.
Yeah, that team would have been unbelievable. Parker was never quite the same, but nice job by Meadows to get his body into Bairstow, get to the foul line, and get the friendly roll here in the Siegel Center. Meadows transferred from Eastern Washington, came from Portland before that. But again, he's another one of those guys. He's had multiple injuries that's kept him in and out throughout the course of this season.
Travis Ford actually coached Michael's father, Michael Sr., at Campbellsville back in his first year coaching. Coach Travis Ford, 3 years at Campbellsville, 5 at Eastern Kentucky, 3 at UMass, 8 at Oklahoma State, and now his 8th season here at St. Louis.
And he's a great player at Kentucky, too. Which is one of the best teams in the country. Nice hands by
Thames. Offensive board, Ezaworo got it back out to Thames. That's a 3.
Not how you draw it up, but they'll take it. Miss the layup, pop out. It's like a pickup game. Gets right back out there, ready to shoot the 3.
That's 2 big possessions right there where they got the 3 on the old-fashioned way and then a 3-pointer. They're up by 1 now, 16-15.
This is the way VCU wants to play, though, in transition, getting up there, quickly getting a shot up and getting fouled. But good point, Mike, is that these last 2 possessions were a big change of momentum. We went into the break 15-10, the Siegel Center coming alive.
Yeah.
And then the rebound by Azaworo. Nice job following the play, not giving up, kicking out for 3.
Well, you know how it can get away from you here in this building as well. So VCU had the momentum. They had the crowd behind them. That is really 2 big possessions for St. Louis to put themselves right back in it. In fact, obviously up by a point. Because if it goes the other way, then you're down by double digits and you're playing from behind, and that's not a good spot to be in when you're here on the road in this building. A couple of substitutions here. Parker and Thames are out. Thames picked up his 2nd personal foul for St. Louis. This is Michael Bell at the free throw line, the true freshman out of England. Hughes is back in for the Billikens. Meadows. There's Gibson Jimerson finally touching the ball here. He hasn't even taken a shot yet. 24 in blue for the Billikens. There's a 3 from Meadows. No good. Hargrove. Offensive rebound now. Jimerson. Floating runner. No, he got his own rebound.
That's where his game has changed. He would have taken that contested 3. That's a good shot, good drive. He didn't get it to go.
And the shot is blocked. Bamisile over in the corner there on Meadows, and now it's a 3 ball, and it's good by Billups.
And Jimerson closed out. It's a pretty good closeout, but Billups stepped in, shot it with confidence. That's big from the redshirt freshman. But this St. Louis team, you're down 4. Jimerson hasn't scored. Not in the worst situation, but partially that's because of the attention VCU is giving him. He's running him off. They're staying tight to him, staying connected. And now Bell's got the responsibility.
Good defense by Bell. As you said, they get it back to Jimerson. It's an NBA range 3. That was short. Bamisile's got it.
Jimerson's release is so quick. They got confused there. He had 1 second. He does no wasted motion. He just missed it, but it was a good look for him.
Bell. Shut off. Back up top for Billups. VCU. Under 9 minutes to go in the first half. Working with a 4-point lead. Billups gets a step. Bad position underneath the basket.
And as a world, might have got away with a little bump there, but their communication on the ball screen was not good, and they got bailed out.
Hargrove, that's a 3 ball, and that's long. A little quick in the possession. Rebound by Billups.
The wall is mismatched. He actually wanted the post touch. Here we get with that.
And Lawal gets it stuck. And that goes to the arrow. It's a jump ball. It's going to stay with VCU.
That's a heck of a block by Azawara, because, again, the wall is an elevator. Like, he's going up all 50 inches. He gathered himself, but he recovered well. Comes in there, gets a straight-up block, puts it into the gives it a little Reggie, a little rim wedgie. They'll maintain possession on the jump ball, but that was a great recovery to save 2 points. And the crowd getting into this game even more off what would have been a dunk.
Yeah, Azawara standing his ground there underneath the basket. Quanti's back in for Bell for VCU. Barstow to put it in. 20 on the shot clock with the offense back here for VCU after the jump ball. Billups, another 3-point try. Tap back out. Oh, and a steal. Jimerson. Yes.
In shoot-around today, they were messing around. He got a steal. They made him go dunk it. And Travis Ford said, I just wanted to make sure you could still dunk, but, well, now he did it for national television with a guy on his hip.
How fitted was that? Absolutely right. The whole team was getting up, screaming and yelling.
Barstow does have the mismatch. They can play him out of the post. He tried to dribble his way in there.
Shulga kicks it. There's Barstow for 3. It's short.
They bailed him out there. They should have reset it and gotten him in the post and let him operate out of there. Slow it down. He can score inside over Medley or facilitate. He's only shooting the 20% from three-point line. That's a good possession if you're the Billikens. There's a world. Took too far. Stop at the block.
Oh, what a spin. Missing though the runner.
But that's 2 feet further he came. If he stands right there, the entry pass comes in, he can turn and finish and seal his man.
Could have tied the game. Instead, VCU's got it. Shulga gets bumped and fouled by Medley. Yeah, he got hit in the face. So Medley picks up his second personal foul. That's the 17th foul in St. Louis. And VCU will shoot free throws when we return. They've got a 2-point lead here tonight in Richmond.
But other than that, it was a beautiful promo, and I think CJ can pull it off. The Ravens defense, I think, is the best unit in the AFC in terms of the defensive side of the ball. That's not going to be an easy environment. It's going to be rowdy here. And not here, but down the road, if you will.
Yeah, not too far up the road here from Richmond. Always good to be in the city here on this Friday night. It's week 2 of 9 straight in the Atlantic 10 Friday Night Showcase. And Hargrove getting the rebound, and he's fouled. And a calling on Quaney, who's going to pick up his second for VCU.
Hargrove's had a really good game, 8 points, but he's been active offensive and defensive rebounds there. Quaney, you just don't want to give a foul right there. There's no point. And you know, that's only 5, but if you put the St. Louis team that can struggle offensively on the line for some 1-and-1s here in the latter part of the first half, that's good news for the Bills.
Both teams struggling early from the field. St. Louis 6 of 23, 26%, and VCU 6 of 16, 37%.
It's also Quaney's second foul. I mean, he's shooting 75% from the three-point line the last 6 games, and you need him in the game.
Need him in there, absolutely.
Jimerson trying to lose Shulga. Those are 2 leading scorers going at each other. Look how much attention. Shulga's been all over in this possession. Nice drop off.
Up and in from Ezawara.
They were just working that 2-man game. They were working that side. Jimerson was able to curl in the lane. He draws so much attention. And again, that's where his game has developed, to be able to get in there, play make at times, also finish, especially going to his right hand.
St. Louis coming off a 5-point loss on the road at Dayton, and we know how well the Flyers are playing, 70-65.
Can't go under that screen. Sorry. You're right, but you go under the screen. He created the space. Shulga shot fake. That's a good look. He didn't get it to go. But you're right. Bills played really well in that Dayton game, battling the best team in the league on the road. But this team's still learning how to win. Dames can't get that to go. They struggled late game. Bad turnovers. Ezawara was trying to deal with Deron Holmes, and Holmes took over that game, but they also gave him easy opportunities in the block. He had a steal for a dunk. Like, closing out games, key moments of games is still what this Billikens team is learning to get through.
That's Christian Furman who knocks it down for VCU. Same type of thing, though, for the Rams. When we talked to Coach Odom, I mean, there's stretches where they play super well, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're fumbling around a little bit. That's what the difference has been. And every coach wants your team to play consistent, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what everyone's striving for, no doubt. Here's Bairstow. Remember, Bairstow, it's his 7th game of the season, and Bamisile is his 8th game of the season here tonight for the Rams. Michael Bell. Shut off, yeah. But he still scores it.
But there was a mismatch. They're switching 1 through 4, so they know the switch is going to be there. He rolled in the post. He wanted it. Meadows went straight up, made him pivot a couple times, and just finished over. You'll live with that.
And Meadows at 6'2", you had Bell at 6'7".
Not quite the mouse in the house, but it was close.
Under 5 to go here in the first half. 25-20, the lead for VCU. Another foul here. It's going on Jason Nelson, his first for the Rams.
And this is good recognition by a VCU team. They get the switch. You know you're going to have a guard on a 4-man. There it is. Hargrove steps out. Meadows is there, and he starts to go to work. Good patience. Hargrove's digging down, trying to make him feel a little pressure. Holds the pivot foot, keeps working. Wasn't pretty. Doesn't matter. Bamisile comes back in, 22 white again. He's going to come in looking to get up shots. Comes in for Shulga.
So far, he's 1 for 2, and that's from 3-point range. 3 points here for VCU. As a whirl. Dalger feeding the cutter. It's Parker, and he turns and scores it.
That was a good, aggressive move. He did not hesitate. He curled off that screen. He caught it. Good advance dribble into the lane. And then he's ripping through. Nelson, a much smaller defender. They need that from Parker to insert himself into this game.
Parker, second year at St. Louis, averaging 13 points a game. Still has another year remaining of eligibility. There's a whistle. Kick ball. Reset the shot clock to 20.
It's a good spot by Clarence Armstrong. The angle that where it was at, Roger Ayers couldn't see the kick. It looked like a hand from where we were, but you could. Clarence Armstrong on the far side was all over it. Ron Gruber going to say to Dalger, take it easy in there.
Yeah.
Not going to foul for no reason. Straight up. Also, do you want to get in the wrestle with Ron Gruber? His biceps are like 29 inches.
I know. You think he's ready for games night in and night out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good ball fake.
Bamisile. Runner's good.
It's such a smart play. We just said he's coming in looking to get him shots. He knows that, too. The defense is going to come out at him, shot fake, get to his right hand, and a little float game in the middle.
Parker got it stripped from behind by Nelson. Looking ahead. Bamisile. Back up top, Nelson for 3.
He could have taken another full 2 steps in. He stopped his run about 2 feet short of the three-point line.
Timeout in Richmond. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 27-22. VCU leading St. Louis here with 3:47 to go first half.
Yeah, and both stars we talked about before the game, Shulga and Jimerson, haven't been as impactful. There's the guys that average double digits. Right now they're struggling a little bit, but that's credit to both teams' defense. A lot of teams, especially with Jimerson, they're really trying to stay touch tight to him and affect him throughout a possession. And Shulga the same way. So it's a matter of also, you don't force it either. Especially VCU, I think they have more players to complement and help Shulga than the Bills do, but other guys are stepping up right now. The Billikens had a great game plan midweek where they helped Ron Holmes to 4 points.
Right.
He ended up with 29 and dominated the whole second half of the game. So things don't always remain the same, but this is a good start for both defenses on the other star.
Medley able to put it in, a lot of contact down there, and he scores for 2, and it's a 3-point ball game. Now, to your point earlier, though, when you had the St. Louis, you're like, where's the scoring going to come from? Like, Jimerson, so they're making a concerted effort to just shut him down. Hey, somebody else going to beat us? Fine.
And those other guys have stepped up. That was a great drive by Medley and a good patient move. Bamisile.
Oh, he got hit. That's going to be a 3-point. There's a 3-point opportunity, so 3 free throws coming here as Ezaworo is called for his second personal foul for St. Louis.
And Ezaworo is frustrated, but you can't do that. Like, you don't want to foul a jump shooter ever, but also with his second foul, as we're talking about, guys, you got to let him land. That's stepped underneath his feet. You got to let him land. It's not even a really good contest.
Right.
At that point, you guys made a miscommunication, an error on defense. They don't want to be switching with their 5 men out there. They made a mistake. You got to live with a late contest and let him land and move on. You keep 1 foul and you keep yourself in the game.
How about our great conversation with Joe Bamisile earlier today, Dallin? And he's done so much. I mean, as we said, he's been at 4 different schools: Virginia Tech, George Washington, Oklahoma, now VCU. But, I mean, he's learned a lot. I mean, he's going to get a degree in counseling, wants to help other people. He's got a mental health app that he's going to be setting up.
It's going to launch in a couple of months.
Yeah.
We have the privilege of talking to so many of these young men and young women in college sports, and so many are smart and driven and will be successful and are already. He was like the most philosophical, introspective, one of the most fascinating characters I've talked with, whether it's launching the mental health app or how he spends his time every day in meditation, what he thinks about, what he wants to do with his life. It's just a very interesting guy that you get that era of, this guy gets it. Way more than I got it at 22. I didn't get anything.
Tell me about it.
We couldn't even really play. I was a joke. I mean, but this guy's unbelievable.
Right. I mean, you said it. I mean, he reads the Bible every day, goes for walks. He said that he's found peace within himself and has had joy playing the game of basketball. It's been a blessing for him just to be able to play the game, and it is. It's amazing perspective. We're always looking for something more and wishing for something else. He's enjoying every moment he has here. You don't want to go 4, 5, 6 years rather than look back and say, geez, why didn't I enjoy all that time?
And with his teammates, he says he loves the team atmosphere and being with people. I like this, using Jimerson as a screener in the wall. Good closeout late. The wall kind of lost him for a second. So don't need to force it. He's got to continue to play.
The steal, Bamisile. He's scored the last 6 for the Rams, and they lead by 7. Medley on the kick. Parker for 3. They need it. Not there.
It's a critical last few minutes. This could really blow up.
Wow. Bamisile taking matters into his own hands as the Rams lead by 9. Timeout, Pelicans.
This place is going nuts. The bench is going nuts. And Bamisile walked over as cool, calm, and collected. Like, this is just what I do. This is the deal. And we're seeing what kind of impact he can have. You didn't have him for the majority of the early part of the season. He stepped in here, and in this game, he's picked up for slack for other scores. And in a key moment here, as he leads his team, potentially a double-digit lead as they go into break.
We see this all the time, right? A ranked team on the road, teams unranked. Please, conference matchup. I mean, this can go either way tomorrow, right?
100%. And the bookies agree. It's like a 2-point line right now. Baylor going on the road. Both those teams lost brutal midweek games. Texas, UCF beat them on their floor. Oh, my gosh, Toby LeBron. I mean, if he's coming from the weak side, if he's on the floor, that's part of what can't get in your head as a scorer. But you do need to know that he's coming, and a shot fake would be useful there. And I don't even know if it's going to help you, but it will at least help the first block.
Imagine if he wasn't playing soccer until the last 5 or 6 years and it was all about basketball, right? He is unbelievable. He's going to have a highlight reel for him on just the blocks tonight. He almost had another one, instead count the basket.
Great control by Parker. Yeah, great control. Got himself into the lane. It was really kind of a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 situation. He wasn't in an advantageous position, but just didn't go flying downhill. Had good body control and then finished with his right hand on the left side. Trying to deny Bamisile, not give him a touch.
Shot clock inside 10, minute and a half to go in the first half. Bamisile, good defense by the Billikens. Shulga, step back. Fight for the rebound. Lawal's got it. Will they call a jump? Yes, they will. It's going to be St. Louis possession. Zhang was able to get in there as well for St. Louis, and they got the ball.
It was an important possession. You got a great finish by Parker. You cut it to 7 and get a stop. Zhang was able to battle enough with Lawal to maintain possession on the jump ball. And again, with this group here, this is where I think you might want to run some for Parker. He seems to get it going a little bit. Jimerson is being shadowed heavily. Hargrove can always step up. They just don't tend to run much for him.
Parker's got 6 points, 2 of 6 from the field. Parker slipping through a double team, takes it in over Bamisile, got a piece of it. And St. Louis saved it to the Bamisile, and it's right to his teammate, Michael Bell. A bit of travel there, instead it's over to Bairstow.
Good recovery by Parker there, because Bamisile was unguarded there for a second. That was a 5-on-4 for a while. The Billikens, good job transition, communicating, and maintaining possession. Also, Bell did travel, so they got away with that.
Thought VCU might have tried to go a little quicker here, maybe a 2-for-1. Instead, it's Shulga who puts it up, and it's a 3 ball. They'll take it, and they lead it by 10. 20 seconds to go here in this first half. Meadows. 5 to shoot. Hargrove takes it in. Rejected. Lawal yet again. He says no, no, no. And that's how the first half ends up.
I love the decision by Hargrove, but when you have a guy that can erase plays like that, that's game-changing. Because that's the right drive, the right play, maybe to cut it to 8 and give you a little momentum going into break. Nah, not here. Swats it, and they have all the momentum as they head into half. 3 blocks for Toby Lawal already in this first half, and that's how the first 20 minutes concludes. And a little Dikembe, too.
That's right. Back in Richmond, Virginia, it is the Rams 36, the Billikens 26, as we welcome you back inside the Siegel Center, everyone, on this Atlantic 10 Friday night showcase matchup. Mike Corey, Dallin Cuff. Pretty good job by the Rams to close out that first half. They're up by 10, largest of the game. What did you see there, partner?
Yeah, St. Louis started strong. Rams closed out the half, though. The last 10 minutes was all them. And Joe Bamisile, we talked about him. He'd come into this game looking to get up shots, looking to affect the game. That's exactly what he did. got 11 points in 12 minutes of play, and some of them were big baskets. He comes right in quick. You go under the screen, knocks down the triple. Great job here. Gibson Jimerson trying to force it. Lawal with the steal up to Bamisile. This sent the crowd going. They end up going into the break up 10. And a big part of that was defensively. They were able to clean up some mistakes defensively. Guys getting in the lane, but they got 6 blocks. They're third in the league right now with just over 5 blocks a game. But Toby Lawal's got 3 of them, and they're highlight level blocks that were erasing points, helping them keep that field goal percentage low. The Billikens shooting 30% through the first half.
All right, so we'll see if St. Louis can turn it up a little bit here. And you and I were talking before we came back in. It's where do you go here if you're St. Louis? I mean, Jimerson. I mean, you can get Parker on some drives. You even thought, Ezewaro, an option. I mean, what do we got here?
Those are the 3. Ezewaro, they ran a set for him early, and he got a nice post touch and finish. They got him one later in the half. He drifted too far. He left the block. He was there to put it. He held his position to catch it and lay it in. Parker got into the game and helped to turn things around. He's got to look to be aggressive, but Jimerson can't force it. Got to look to pick his spots. I like this out of the timeout, out of the halftime. They go 2-3 zone. They're going to mix in some zones, the Bills are, and trying to make the Rams work out of it. Know where 11 Shulga is within the context of this zone for sure.
Yeah, Coach Ford talked about it, but that's not what he was looking for. An easy dunk for Kwani.
Just great recognition, understanding, coming across the top, playing behind the zone, the cut from behind. That is great execution and understanding of how to break down the zone right out of the halftime.
VCU was on a 10-2 run dating back to the end of the first half and extending their largest lead. Now inside, get it there for Ezewaro.
How they started the game too. That 2-man game with Ezewaro and Jimerson on that side and the empty side. That's good action. They may go back to that time and again to see how VCU defends it.
He's got 4 points, 2 of 5 from the field, also 4 rebounds. Here's Nelson for VCU. He started the game scoring the first 6 points of the game for the Rams. Has not scored since. Bairstow, but held in check. 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field, 2 to shoot. And that's a shot clock violation.
That's a good defensive possession. Good communication. They also got in there, batted down one of the handoffs, threw up the timing. And this is great execution, the driving right down the lane line, just too easy. Everybody's staring at the ball. Kwani playing behind the zone. Here's the similar action, but it's Hargrove and Jimerson on that side.
Now it's Hughes. Foul on Bairstow. That's his second. And then on the other side for VCU, you had all 5 starters who have scored. Everybody off the bench has scored. So 9 guys in action tonight. Everybody's got some points.
It's huge. A lot of contributions for a team that has struggled to score a bit in some league games. It's great to get contributions from everywhere, especially when Shulga was at 3 points with seconds left in the first half. As Hargrove stepped out of bounds there. Good defense by Kwani on ball.
There's Christian Furman. Bairstow for 3.
They'll live with that shot. Playing percentages a little bit. Didn't close out hard. He's only 2 for 12 on the season as he's taken 2 today.
Hughes on a step back 3. Oh, that's big. They needed that.
Larry Hughes the second. Looking like daddy right there. Larry Hughes is pops, one of the greatest St. Louis players of all time. Freshman All-American, high-level player, and that's a big shot on the step back. Tough one, too.
That's the first points of the night for Larry Hughes Jr., and it's a 7-point game. Nelson, and bumped by Medley. They're going to say no before the shot. Officials are all over it, on the floor. Medley in the foul. Crowd wants the continuation, but it was clear that it was before the shot. Medley with his 3rd personal foul for St. Louis.
We actually had the exact same angle as Roger Ayers here, and I think it's the right call. On the ground, I thought before he's in a shooting mode, he's the chest come out and make contact. That's the foul, and it's a good call, I think, and unfortunate for Nelson, but good drive.
Shulga. Quick trigger off the inbounds.
Never in balance. It was a line drive. Again, you don't necessarily need that shot right now. It hasn't been his day to this point, but he could shot fake it and get in the lane there, or shot fake it, maybe get back and have that little flyby situation. He's stroking three.
VCU is 4 of 13 from three-point range, and a foul again on the Rams underneath.
I like this too. Ezewaro getting him in the post, trying to wear him out, get themselves to the line, or just stack fouls up on this VCU team.
Second foul on Furman. Ezewaro. Meadows. Hughes looking for Hargrove, who's got it on the block against Quaney. Furman tapped it to his teammate, and it's Nelson.
Oh, yeah, that's a foul. Yeah. That's going to be 3 on Ezewaro. He's surprised, but he just
Clocked him in the head.
Yeah, almost a karate chop, and that's an obvious foul. That's a big dude, man. 6'9", 265. Just put his arm like right into Nelson's grill. I love how aggressive Nelson is right now. He's a guy, again, that shoots a 40% from three-point line, but he's not relying on that. He continues to have guys close out hard and able to get himself in the lane. We've seen him finish a couple times, now draw a couple fouls in this half.
Ezewaro's got to go out, and Bruce Zhang is back in for St. Louis. Shulga. Battle for it. Is that out of bounds off the Billikens? It is. Bairstow trying to get free to get the inbounds pass, and he touched it last, and Jimerson was there initially. Or did he not touch it? Just went out of bounds. On the pass.
I like them picking up full court here. Let's get a little energy back. The building's a little dead. The shot clock started before the ball went in play, so they'll re-rack that.
Great catch. I mean, it's a 27. You're right.
But I like this. Now Hargrove's turning to his guys like, "Yo, come help! Like this is a problem here. We're inbounding. We can't move. It's a stationary inbounds pass in a corner. It's never easy to do that." I love the call by Ryan Odom to press. He's trying to talk to his guys right now, Odom, trying to get them going a little bit. They are, you know, a little lifeless. The building is really quiet right now, too.
Yeah, we're trying to come to a little bit of a stall here. Early part of the second half. 3.5 minutes gone by. You're right. Here comes the trap.
Can't catch it there.
Ooh. And a foul is going to be called.
And I'll tell you what's important. That's the third foul already on VCU in just over 3 minutes. And again, a St. Louis team that's struggling to score. If they can get themselves into the bonus, and they're a pretty good free throw shooting team at 72%, that would be huge.
Quaney picks up his third. And the thing was, you know, he's saying, "Oh, my arms are straight up. I think he got him with the body."
Yep.
I mean, that's what people sometimes don't recognize. I mean, he was hitting him with his body, and that was the call from Ron Gruber, a good one. And here's the step back jumper, no good, on the way by Hughes. Nelson running quickly for VCU. Bairstow, nice. Look at that.
A bad shot is your first pass from your opponent's fast break. That's exactly what that was. That is a bad step-back jump shot at a time where you don't need it. He made a tough one on the step-back three that was questionable. That on the baseline was tough. That's a better shot. Step-in three from Hughes. Doesn't get it to go. And once Hughes shot that, actually, he didn't convert quick enough. They were a 5-on-4. Nobody stopped the ball. Nobody communicated. Bairstow goes all the way. Coast to coast. Zhang just Euro'd by the Aussie. Showing you the Euro step on a Friday. Fun. The set's going to be fun. That's a crew right there. I'd love to get dinner with those ladies, just hang out and laugh with them. Some of the best in the business. But obviously, South Carolina, #1 in the nation, scoring over 90 points a game. They've become must-see TV. But bear in mind, LSU are the reigning champs. And they've had some wobbles. They both have games this weekend. LSU taking on Arkansas. South Carolina taking on A&M Sunday before we get to that big game. Which should be a lot of fun. And one.
Shulga, 2 free throws coming for VCU.
I'd like to see from him. He's struggling to get looks out front and get comfortable. Be the aggressor at times. Try to get downhill a little bit, get in the lane. He's under control there.
Meadows called for his first personal foul for St. Louis. And yeah, the VCU players are still learning to play with each other, right?
Yeah.
Still trying to figure it all out with, Shoga, who has been a pretty steady force for this team. But then when you add in his teammates and former teammate from Utah State now here at VCU, Sean Bairstow, in his 7th game back, and Joe Bamisile in his 8th game back. And then you get into conference play and things get ramped up even more. So it's a lot.
That's the hard part, is to try to gel. And St. Louis is going through something similar with their identity and having guys come back in the middle of conference play, where the program's better, the atmospheres are tougher, and you're fighting for your season. There's just a lot of the line. It's hard, very hard time to be, getting people back. It's great problem to have, relatively speaking, but it's challenging.
VCU is the preseason number 2 in the Atlantic 10. There's Parker. Up fake, and he's going to the free throw line.
Good use of the ball fake. Getting Bairstow up, stepping by him, getting into his body, getting himself to the line. Bairstow can't believe it. It's the right call.
It is. Thrown on him.
Right there with the body.
Yeah.
He's got his left arm in his back right there. Easy call.
So it's Parker who missed 11 games with a broken foot. His 2nd year at St. Louis. He's got 1 more year after this of eligibility. Former junior college All-American back in the day.
Back in the day, it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, how old are you trying to make us?
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
back in 01, right after the pandemic, he was.
It's hard these days, right? Sometimes I think about something that I feel like was not that long ago, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was 2017, 2018, like 7 years ago. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's time. No good.
No. Well, thanks, COVID.
Bamisile checks in, 22. Remember, he's like Vinnie Johnson, speaking of old school. That's back in the day.
That's right.
He's getting up.
That is back in the day.
He's coming in looking to get shots up, and good rebound. Lawal, a block shot by Lawal. He just floats.
Meadows with his 2nd for St. Louis.
It's funny, we were talking to the staff about Lawal and his ability to jump and his athleticism. Well, the NBA Combine folks came in to test him, and they had to actually put. Folks don't know, there's an apparatus that tests your vertical. It's got this long pole, and these little things stick out, and you jump and see how high you can touch, and they measure it. They had to put like blocks underneath it to go up even higher. He was above like what normal humans can ever do at 49.5-inch vertical with long arms and tall. He's an alien. He's wild.
Went to Lee Academy in Maine for a year, and it was really the previous staff that took a chance on him. They had a scholarship remaining, and they said, oh, yeah, this guy's got some pretty good athleticism, and all right, we'll grab him, we'll bring him here, and they did, and how great did that turn out? Now enter Ryan Odom and his staff, and they'll take it. Here's Bamisile for 3.
I love this with Bamisile. He was just yelling, hey, hey, as they were in transition, because nobody was closing to him. He was able to step right into it. Parker with the late closeout, but you've got to know where 22 White is on the floor. The moment he checks in, there should be communication. A lot of times people say shooter, shooter.
Right.
He's player, player. Whatever you want, that dude can get buckets in different ways. You got to know where he is.
If you're St. Louis, you just need a back-to-back situation here. You're right in this game. I mean, it's been kind of sluggish, right? The crowd, as you said, there hasn't been a huge run right now for VCU. They need to take advantage of this.
There's Jimerson off that double screen on the baseline. I think they go back to this two-man game. Here you go with Ezeguaro, and they were not on the same page. But Jimerson should never be trying to set a screen on it for Ezeguaro dribbling the ball.
They were out of sorts here with 4 on the shot clock. 3, Meadows. Tapped around, Bamisile's got it.
We've got 4 total field goals here in the second half and just over 6 minutes of play. Now we've got a scrum.
Oh, Bamisile. Oh, hit hard in the head as he went into try to put that one up. And there's been some hard fouls in this game.
We'll take another look at that. It almost looked unfortunate for Jimerson. I thought he hit the ball and that hit him in the face. It was Jimerson's foul from behind. And then I think that was, the play in front was fine.
But they called Parker the foul.
They called Parker. That one's tough because I thought Parker was clean. I thought Jimerson from his back kind of pushing on him was more problematic.
Shulga.
Mismatch.
Got it. Foul called. Chance for the three-point play. VCU is up 11.
This is where Azuaro's got to develop. He played at LSU, hardly got minutes. Georgetown was his next stop. Got very few minutes. He's got to be a guy they need to count on to play. He's got to be locked in all the time. He was taking a switch. They were a little miscommunicated there. Taking a switch on the other team's best player. You got to square him up. You got to be stronger. You got to have some resistance. And if you get beat with 3 fouls, live to fight another day. Okay, just let it go up.
Yeah.
But then you give a ticky-tack foul. He gets an and one. Now you're on the bench again. That's 2 ticky-tack fouls he's taken in this game that have been at different critical points. He's upset at himself. You can see him on the bench right now, furious. But it doesn't mean anything. You got to execute on the floor.
And he's got 4 personal fouls with still 13 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the game. Hargrove is up off the bench. He's going to check in at the next whistle as well. Gallagher gets it over to Parker. Familiar situation again for St. Louis with the shot clock winding down. Parker, he's fouled on his way in.
Again, he's the only guy that can go create. That's kind of, there was some false motion there and not much was happening. He just tried to go make a play. And he did. He got himself to the line, but he's the only one that can really do that. They need to use each other. That's why Azuaro getting taken out of the game is so big. He gives them an option of throwing the ball on the block and maybe scoring. Or getting fouled.
Yeah, Lawal was called for the foul. 5 team fouls on VCU, 6 on St. Louis. Already 11 fouls here in the first 7 minutes of this second half. Parker. Our featured ESPN women's basketball matchup comes your way on Sunday afternoon. Angel Reese, we're talking about them coming up down the road. But first, they got to take care of Arkansas at home at 5 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. We'll have that for you coming up on Sunday.
Classic trap game, but they're at home there. That should help. If you got to play South Carolina next, I'm sure they're looking ahead a bit, but Kim Mulkey will have them locked in, I'm sure, at 5 o'clock on Sunday.
She will.
Can we get another dress like Kim Mulkey day there? Can we please
what outfit she's going to wear? It's so awesome, right?
Don't pick up your dribble there, Shulga.
Shulga kicks it out. Nelson. Oh, that's tapped around. Bamisile got a hand on it. It's still loose. Parker now for St. Louis. Oh, and he got it knocked away. And it's still Billikens' ball.
There's John Larroquette in the front row talking to Clarence Armstrong and telling him to go the other way. Fresh off the set at Night Court.
I saw that. That's a pretty good reference there.
Well, how could I not know? They've run that show back. It was part of my childhood, and guess what? It's back.
It's awesome.
It's not on ABC, so I can say whatever I want.
There you go. There we go. Parker on the take. Finally gets it for St. Louis.
He's the guy. He's got to be the guy for them right now, and VCU's got to be locked in into gaps. Make him kick it out and give up a contested 3. Outside of Jimerson, you can help off the guys in this lineup.
It's an 8-point game here. Bell. Bamisile trying to get him back into double digits. He does. It's a 3 ball.
Don't help off them. Like, you can't, again, he's the guy for them right now, and he's stroking it, he's confident.
14 points to lead all scorers in this game tonight. He's knocked down a couple of 3 balls. Hargrove can't respond on the other end. Lawal got the rebound.
It's a settle from Hargrove. He had 8 points in the first 4 minutes of play. He hasn't scored since the first half at the 16-19 mark of the first half. But that's a settle early in the possession for a 3.
Bell, and he is fouled. And we've got a 1-and-1 when we come back. A-10 has had a really good year up to this point here. You got Dayton, number 21 in the nation, 19 in the net. You got 7 teams in the top 100. Duquesne's right outside of it at 101 down. And now all of a sudden you start beating each other up, though, right? I mean, that's the thing.
That's the challenge, and this is where you're looking at it. Some teams that have some good non-conference wins. St. Joe's, I point to them most prominently. I mean, remember, they beat Villanova. They also beat Princeton at home. People say, Princeton? Well, Princeton's going to be a top 30 net team. They're 30 right now. Yeah. That's a quad 1 win when you look at that as a home win. So the problem right now is some of your teams that have better resumes have struggled in the league, and that's because the league is better. There are more quality teams top to bottom. There's not really off nights. It really makes it really difficult to stack wins the way you need to do. And when you have some teams with the good resumes that then stumble in conference, those don't help their numbers, but their numbers aren't always reflective of the quality of some of the teams in this league. And that's why you see so many teams in the top 100, but really being in that top 75 is critical, top 50 to get you the quad 1, quad 2 wins depending upon location, home, road, neutral.
St. Joe's also lost at Kentucky, by the way, in overtime.
Yeah.
So they had a good game there. Had some really good wins. Dayton has the 3rd longest winning streak in the nation right now at 11 games. Shulga, easy one.
Out of timeout. That was just, they wanted Parker to try to make a play, but he chose the wrong time. Jimmer's up there, Gibson setting the screen. There's just bodies everywhere, and he's dribbled right into traffic.
Largest lead of the night here for VCU at 13 points.
Parker was in the middle lane with nobody guarding him. They got a little crossed up.
Dalger, and he's going to the free throw line.
Good job attacking the shot blocker, getting into Lawal's body. There's just so much congestion. There's bodies everywhere. He tries to split the screen with Jimerson, with Gibson stepping into that space. There's nowhere to go. And Shulga, the beneficiary, not quite exactly, George Gervin with a finger roll. It went in.
Lawal picks up the foul. That's going to be 2 on Toby Lawal for VCU. 16 foul. And Tim Dalger, graduate student out of Tulsa, transferred here, originally from Fort Lauderdale. Kellen Thames is back in for St. Louis.
And Jimerson sits down, and that's the problem right now, is that you got a guy you need to score that's struggling right now. Correct. He's only limited to a couple attempts in the game.
2 points.
2 points, and they've really locked him up. I mean, 1 of 3 field goals. They're doing their work early. They're not allowing him to get early. They're communicating. They're staying touch tight. Doing a good job.
Averages 16.9 on the season. That pass a little too strong from Bamisile. Parker's the leading scorer for St. Louis. There's Jimerson. Parker's got 12 points.
It's a local product, too. He's a Richmond guy. He used to come to VCU basketball camp back when Anthony Grant was the coach. I asked him, did you win like Camper of the Week awards? Like, I don't remember. Probably won a shooting award. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true.
I would agree on that. Right here from in town. Yeah, Hargrove lost it. Went to St. Christopher's and then went to Montverde Academy in Florida. Jimerson's parents, Jason and Jennifer, both went to the pharmacy school here at VCU. In the house tonight. But not what they were hoping to see from the leading scorer for St. Louis up to this point anyway. We're halfway through the second half. Bairstow fighting through all comers, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Almost like a running back there, you're right. Yeah. He was shaking off tacklers and getting himself to the 10. Yeah, free throw line.
We have another promo for the Ravens.
Sure, 4:15 tomorrow on ESPN and ABC. See, there's bodies coming. You could have called a foul there, but then he gets himself to the line.
So we'll stay with basketball. Big 12 tomorrow. We talk about Baylor and Texas coming your way. That's at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ESPN and the app. You're going to be in studio, right?
I'm not tomorrow.
Oh, you're not tomorrow?
That? You even a schedule change? Your boy's going to be on the couch watching games like a fan. First time in about 7 years.
Wow.
Saturday off. Here we go.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be watching that. What do we?
Of course I'm watching that.
You got your app.
You're going to be locked in.
You need multiple games. You're not going to know what to do. You used to have, what do you have in the studio?
8 screens in the studio, but now we'll have the quad view on the TV. We'll have the iPad going and the computer going. We got a lot happening.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be good. But that game in particular, 2 teams coming off horrible midweek losses. Not because they're not good teams in the Big 12. Texas losing at home to UCF in a game where they gave up 30 points between turnovers and second chance points. They just didn't close the game. They're up double digits. Baylor, on the other hand, up 4 with seconds to go. Foul and 1 3-point shooter. And you lose in a game at Cincinnati that you really should have won. So it's a big game for both those teams in the best conference in college basketball. It's the Big 12. It is loaded.
Geez, I mean, UCF, right? You just talked about they were getting that when they beat Kansas, at home. I mean, welcome into the Big 10 or Big 12. So much different these days, right now. And I mean, remember when teams would move conferences or step up to another league, and it's going to take us a couple years to get our guys and figure it out. Not anymore. Just go to the portal and you get everybody else from other Big 12 teams that didn't want to be there. Just bring them over. I mean, you do whatever you got to do, and all of a sudden you're competing, right?
I mean, Houston's established a culture and a success and identity. But to your point, LJ Cryer, who played at Baylor, all-league level player, then transfers over to Houston. And they're a team, you're bringing them in, that elevates the best conference in college basketball the last couple of years even better. You're bringing a BYU team. Folks, if you haven't seen BYU, they can flat out shoot it and got guys all over the floor. They're fun to watch. They come in with one of the best home environments, 20,000 strong at the Marriott Center. Cincinnati and Wes Miller, great coach who got a ton of history there and some good players he went out and got. They're competing at a high level. And yes, as you mentioned, Johnny Dawkins and UCF. They've had success recently in past years. I mean, they almost knocked out that Duke team in 2019 NCAA tournament. They were inches away from taking Zion and crew out I believe, in the Sweet 16, or Sweet 16, or second round, excuse me, to get to the Sweet 16. I mean, that's what you're bringing into the best league. It's ridiculous.
Starting to get into danger zone a little bit here for St. Louis. 16-point deficit, 9:20 to go. It's a 9-2 run for VCU. Parker, no.
That's kind of what they're relying on their offense here right now is, Parker, can you go make a play? And that's problematic because you got a good defensive team in VCU, and Bamisile wants the triple, gets the triple, hits the triple. This has been a dominant second half. Lack of communication. Hargrove, hand down, man down with Bamisile. They are cruising.
Connor Odom for VCU, son of head coach Ryan Odom, along with Terrence Hargrove for St. Louis on the other side. Both last year at the Final Four, both speaking up for not only mental health, but their struggles and what they've done personally. Were both awarded the USBWA, the United States Basketball Writers Association, Most Courageous Award winners. And you see them both there down in Houston last year. Terrence Hargrove, who spoke up for mental health and his struggles and what he's gone through, and has such a great attitude and work ethic and look on life. And the same thing with Connor Odom, who had to deal with an extreme case of OCD way back in 7th grade. And it was him and his father Ryan, his wife Lucia, and his other brother Owen. They had to go to Nashville a couple of times back in the day for treatments there in an outpatient center for 8 to 12 weeks at a time. And he still has to work through it. But Ryan Odom today, when you and I talked to him, Dallin, was very encouraged and said, hey, he's doing a great job, and it means a lot to them. That family's been through a lot, and we always wish them the best.
100%. I thought Coach Odom was interesting and a very honest assessment of saying at times there's an element of like, why do I have to deal with this? Right. These other people have to deal with this, and being able to talk about it is hard. But Connor to step forward and share that story, because there's so many people struggling with whether it's OCD or just other mental health issues, as Terrence Hargrove spoke about. Really credit to these young people that are continuing to get outside their comfort zone, to speak up and help bring awareness to different issues, but also have other people be willing to help them through theirs too.
Right, it's helping so many others. When you see someone like this in these positions, a college basketball athlete or whatever it may be, others not only in that similar situation, but see, hey, they're able to talk about it. They're in the limelight. They're in public. Maybe I can get some help with whatever you're working on or struggling with as well. So, congrats to both of them on those awards. All right, sit down. You got all this time tomorrow. You're going to be here on your couch watching games. Saturday selections. Tell everybody what you're doing here.
Yeah, the shocking Saturday off day. I'm going to have like a butt groove like Homer Simpson in my couch. I can't wait. All right, what a game I want to see. Bama, Tennessee, two of the best offensive teams in the country. 2 o'clock on ESPN2. Outstanding must-see game of the weekend. Underdog pick. We're promoting our company's games, but the real one is Seton Hall getting 2 points at home.
There you go.
Leave that alone. But FSU, who's won 5 straight, taking on Clemson, a Clemson team that's lost 4 or 5. Rocky. They're getting a couple points at home. I like the Noles there. Buying stock. Everybody's already bought stock in Kentucky. This was just a chance to talk about them in case people are tuning in, turning from football to basketball. If you have not seen the Cats play, they are the most entertaining team in college basketball. They make threes. They play at pace. They are fun to watch. They got future pros and outstanding college players. And Iowa State and TCU finally, 2 top 25 teams that really, I think TCU is a team that's been slept on for a while, but now people have caught up as they've took Kansas to the very end. They beat other good teams in the Big 12. They beat Houston last weekend. Iowa State also a team that's very challenging to play against. Turns you over. I think that's going to be an outstanding game. 2 o'clock Eastern as well on the U.
Pearson for Lawal, and can't get it to go, and follow his own miss with a dunk.
Easy for me to say, why did he dunk the first one? I thought he was up high enough to just put it down.
Tried to get it to Hargrove, and it's going to be VCU possession.
You could tell predetermined, I'm going to throw this ball. I'm going to come off this ball screen. He's going to roll. I'm going to throw it. He left his feet. They were out of position. It was not a well-executed play. Another turnover as St. Louis just really offensively is very limited. And you're playing a very good defensive team in VCU.
Right. Look out. Bairstow. Nobody picked him up.
Easy press break.
3-ball, Hughes. Oh, and saving it with Shulga off the wall, and now Bairstow's got it. Shulga is a little bit banged up and fighting to get back to the other end of the court. I mean, you can just tell he goes after it, right? I mean, this guy does all the little things as well. Not to mention he's got 15 points, 2 off of Bamisile for the team high tonight.
Well, that's why they've gotten so much better as the shot clock goes down. Bamisile on just stepped in, replaced. They rolled, it sucked in some defense. He rolled right up, came right up the top of the key. Buries a triple. But the reason this team is so much better now than they were earlier in the year, and they're on the way of winning 7 of 9 now, is Medley Branks in a triple, is Shulga was so reliant, too. They call it a 2. They were so reliant on Shulga early in the season to score. There was so much that had to go through him. He'd force a lot of shots and need to make plays. But Bamisile now, Bairstow, the play creator, and other guys stepping up, like it's just become a more complete team on the offensive end. It's night and day than what we saw early in the season.
Totally. A lot of the pressure is off of him now. And now Bamisile, who's been taking over here, and he gets another 3. 23 points. It's a new career high for Joe Bamisile. Hargrove. No. Shulga. And tried to get it over to Kwani, and he's out of bounds.
I thought he was going to get there. I thought he was just going to tap pass it backwards to see a serious highlight.
Yeah.
St. Louis trying to press and trying to change the tempo of the game and get a turnover, but great job by Bairstow. They get it inbounded, and Bairstow flashes right in the middle, gets it, and goes coast to coast. Nobody stepped up. And here, look, see the roll by the wall, sucks in Hughes. Nobody steps up on Bamisile replacing up time. Buries.
Medley up top for Thames. Fade away, got it. Some pressure, the VCU breaks it. Nelson.
That's a clinic. This is what, like, Travis Shorty on what he's doing is right. If they're going to trap on one side, Parker has to leave his man and then go to the middle. He's supposed to pick up that next pass in the middle. There has to be rotation from the backside. Parker just hugged his man. So as soon as Nelson passed it, he was wide open in the middle, and you just break it with an odd man break, and nobody steps up again.
It's 2 out of the last 3 possessions where they've had a dunk and then a point-blank range floater that nobody really defended.
Yeah, not good, Bob.
No.
Not good.
Shulga kicks it out. 20 for 3. Boy, everybody's doing it now. 20 for 3. That is the 9th 3-pointer made for VCU tonight. 5 in the second half. They're 5 of 10.
And Kwani missed his first 17 threes of the year, folks, as Parker drills that one. 17 in a row. And he's now made 15 of his last 21. I've never seen that before. He's over 70% after starting that bad. Part of it, they said, it's mental. They stay with it. And also, Ryan Odom's coaching just continue to view him with confidence. I want you shooting. If you're open and you don't shoot it, I'll take you out for that, he told him, versus shooting when you're open. He busts out of that slump, and now he's a weapon.
I'm feeling bad for the team they played after he was over 17 that he started hitting. The coach was like, what's going on here? This guy's over 17, now he's draining them?
Yeah, the scout, he was not on the scouting report.
Yeah.
It was probably non-shooter.
Let him get that
up.
guy open, yeah. Well, everybody's hitting for VCU here tonight. 3:53 remaining. They lead it big time here at home. All right, Atlantic 10 action here. The Flyers 4-0 in the league. How about Richmond? I mean, as well. Dayton's won 11 in a row. Richmond's on a win streak themselves.
They've won 7 straight, and they've really, they guard you, man. They guard you. Chris Mooney, outstanding coach, really well-coached team. There's a bunch of seniors, a bunch of veterans, and they transfer in Jordan King, who's co-player of the week this week in the A10.
Yep.
Really just starting to hit their stride at the right time. And it's been impressive to watch them. Coach Valentine at Loyal Chicago. That game against Fordham tomorrow, maybe a no-holds bar. Like this, Chicago makes a tough physical game. They really defend you. The question is, can they continue to make enough shots to continue to win the league? But they really guard you and get after you.
Rhode Island's won 4 in a row as well as they go to Dayton, so that's going to be a really good game there. See if they can pull off the upset. And as you said, Richmond on the win streak. You know, surprising action so far with teams there with like Rhode Island, Richmond, and George Washington, Loyola Chicago as well. Top of the hour here, coming up next as we are done with college basketball. The Australian Open, 3rd round coverage coming your way as soon as we are complete here in Richmond. Just 3 minutes and 53 seconds away from this Friday night being in the books. Week 2 of 9 straight. Mike Corey, Dallin Cuff here in our home away from home, Richmond, Virginia. And normally we're good for like a snow game once in a while. We got a few flurries here, but not as bad as the Northeast.
Yeah, St. Bonaventure can give you a treat every now and again with some travel as Nelson is fouled. But yeah, we usually come here 3 or 4 times during the stretch. Get to Richmond proper in terms of the university and or VCU. But yeah, it'd be great to be back here in a couple weeks to see another game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Siegel Center back rocking again, right?
Yeah.
Pretty darn good crowd again here tonight. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we can go back to COVID all we want, all the things that were adjusted. No, I know. But that happened. That affected it a little bit here as well, too, for some of the fans, season ticket holders, all that stuff. But you know, they're back. Students are back. It's always been one of the toughest places to play in the league. Still is.
Yeah, well, that's part of what's so great about the Friday night package is the venues in this league are great. Whether you're going to Dayton or VCU or St. Louis, but St. Bonaventure is always on fire. Like you get so many great venues and unique places to be that are a lot of fun. So fortunate to be covering the league and look forward to seeing how things unfold this year. Dayton is the best team, but like you said, the league is deeper.
Right.
It's tougher to win, night in and night out. So there's always going to be good games. Tonight, withstanding, I guess, at 22 points.
Yeah, well, I mean, this hasn't always been the case if, you know, you're VCU, right? I mean, they've lost their last couple here at home.
Yeah, this is a big win. Like, they need to start to get right where the Siegel Center is a fortress again. They're protecting it.
Meadows picked up his 4th personal foul. And Bairstow picked up his 4th for VCU. But the game pretty much not in question here at this point. Where are you going now if you're St. Louis? Obviously, coming up here first, we'll mention the women's college basketball on Sunday, LSU and Arkansas, Angel Reese and company. It's 5 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And then, of course, getting ready for their big matchup against South Carolina as well. What do you do if you're St. Louis? Where do you go here? You're going to drop to 1-4 in the A-10, 8-10, struggling to find offense, get guys back in the mix. What do you do?
Well, the challenge is for, as Travis Ford told us, they don't really have an identity now. They were trying to be a pressing team that outscored you and played fast, and then 4 games in, they have all these injuries. They didn't do that. We may want to explore going back to that because I think that may give them a better chance of playing fast, loose, and free, and figure out how to generate some offense. And you may need to create it out of your defense, may need to make it a little more mucked up because in a half-court game, Parker's going to take a tough one. They just don't have that many threats to score out of a standard half-court game. And defensively, they aren't that good. To help your offense, you usually got to get stops to play ahead of the defense. You can't get stops. You might want to speed the game up, of your own accord. And that's why you press. They're pressing now because the game's kind of out of hand. But if you did it consistently, maybe we're seeing. But the problem also, too, is I keep speaking out both sides of my mouth. You say that, but when you play every 3 days or 4 days, it's hard to practice it and get guys in A, to get you to know exactly what to do, and B, in condition to play that way. It is hard to play that way. We did that my sophomore year. We had a coaching change, and one of our coaches, Mike Bermucci, came from Manhattan, who was Bobby Gonzalez was the coach then in Manhattan. They pressed all the time, so we, at Columbia, run around pressing people. Because we weren't as talented as some of the teams in our league, let's try to muck it up. Let's see what happens. And we had some success with that year, but it's hard, and you've got to learn how to play it, but also play through exhaustion and then be able to have a deep enough team that you can have guys come in and play 8, 9, 10 deep to maintain a level of pressing and still execute.
Yeah, I mean, completely altering or changing things up, right? Like you said, even mid-season and not having a lot of time to prepare or practice it. I mean, I always kind of laugh, too, and, they say, as Bamisile just continues to fire away from three-point range, he does it again. He's got 6.
Well, this is showing why you need to practice the press, because they don't know where people are supposed to be. They keep getting it to the middle easily and then breaking it. Now Bamisile wide open, buries a triple.
Adds to his career high. He's got 26 now. And Parker responds on the other end for St. Louis. Yeah, I always kind of like laugh sometimes. Like, oh, halftime adjustments and this and that. Like, yeah, well, I mean, if you're ready for it or you had it or you've practiced it, but like, how much can you really do sometimes in the flow of a game or even during the week? Like you said, we only have 2 days to kind of get ready for another opponent. I mean, it's asking a lot, isn't it?
Well, in the flow of the game, you could do a lot in terms of how you're doing stuff, but within your context of concepts of stuff you already do. So it's like, hey, we're going to start doubling the post, and we practice doubling the post all year. So here's how we double it. We're going to do that. Hey, we're going to start to play through the post. We're going to run these actions to get the ball into the post and play out of that. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Bamisile again, he's on fire. But you can do things that you practice all the time and implement and dial them up and down. Going and pressing is something you don't do, and just tossing it out there, yeah, that's throwing stuff against the wall.
What a night for Joe Bamisile. 29 points, 10 of 13 from the field, and he does it on a defensive end. And a wide open Bairstow. Now the onslaught is on here. He's got 7 of 10 from three-point range as well for Bamisile tonight.
And this again, just you're carving up that press. Bamisile's able to walk right into a wide open three. There's Bamisile stepping right into that three.
And wait till the ovation comes here. I mean, this has just been one night to remember for these Rams and Bamisile and Connor Odom into the lineup here now. Coach's son we just talked about earlier. Good to see the smile on his face as he comes in. Here's the ovation for Bamisile.
And I like that Coach Odom got him out, got him ready to get him a standing O, recognize his career night, because we talk about him coming in looking to get buckets off the bench. He'd do his job well. And this team's trying to find out their roles. That's his role. Microwave, instant offense off the bench. And other guys are figuring out where they fit. And this team just keeps getting better. Now, winners are 7 of 9 when this thing goes final in just under 90 seconds.
Bell. Not there. Offensive rebound. Furman. He's fouled by Parker. Numbers in the second half here for VCU. 15 of 27 from the field, 55%, 7 of 12 from three-point range at 58%. A lot of that, of course, was Bamisile. And then 8 of 10 at the free throw line, so just getting it done in all areas. And blocking shots early. Lawal was jumping through the roof here. And, you know, now if you're VCU, let's talk them, right? A minute 19 seconds to go here. You're going to pick up this win. You're going to go 3-2 in the A-10, 11-7. A lot of people think, boy, this is like the last team that you want to contend with all these guys coming back. And I know they got a little bit of an uphill climb there with the net and all that stuff in the rankings, but still, I mean, they're capable of going on a run, and you don't want to play them come March.
Oh, not at all. We don't play them now, I don't think. And this is again for your first year. Coach and Ryan Odom, you lose your first 2 league games. You need this to continue to build and put the product on the court that people are going to turn out and have a clamoring to come see as Connor Odom trying to get a shot up. No foul call.
But there's been a lot of fouls, so they would have had no problem if they called that one there. But here is the other way, and that's Thames.
But just to finish that point, I mean, VCU has some, they beat a Penn State team that has had some decent wins. Their resume is not going to be what they need. They had some opportunities at Iowa State and Boise State that are going to be tournament teams. But as they're able to turn it up here and start to play at a higher level and stack wins in the A-10, it's more about winning this league and then to maybe winning the tournament. That's what you still can punch your own ticket in. This team keeps getting better, and you're trying to continue to keep this level of excellence. If you're Ryan Odom, this is a big, resounding win on national TV for your program.
Foul called. 29.6 left. Australian Open is coming up next as soon as we are complete here. 83-59 VCU. 29 for Bamisile tonight. 15 for Shulga. 11 for Nelson, who's in the starting lineup. By the way, they didn't have Zeb Jackson in this game tonight either for VCU. No
One
problem.
of the leading scorers, second leading scorer. Do you think Bairstow, the Brisbane native, runs right back to watch the Aussie Open? Does he just sprint right in the locker room and just fire right on? Got to get ESPN2 on right now, boys.
Fairstill with 10 points tonight. And 6 assists as well to lead this team. 7-time VCU has scored 80-plus points this year. It's going to be pretty impressive, and we saw it. They're capable of putting up big-time numbers. And St. Louis, whose season low was 62 versus Southern Illinois, right now 6th.
Tell you what, these fouls late, they're significant to some, Mike.
Well, it's a 24-point game, though.
Well, 146 points have been scored.
Sorry, I was thinking of the, yeah.
And they will let it bleed out.
So Nelson going to dribble it out here tonight, and VCU is going to get a very convincing 85-61 win over St. Louis. They go to 3-2 in conference play and 11-7, and pick up their first home Atlantic 10 conference win of the season on this Friday night at Richmond.
Can they keep it going against Loyola Chicago? They get another home game here, keep that energy going. This was an impressive team performance, and when Zep Jackson gets back too,
look out.
Trajectory only going up.